Hello everyone, Ady Simion, Coldwell banker. Welcome to my morning commute. Every morning when I have time, I try to bring some subjects that I run into in my real estate career and give you some bits of advice so you don't make the mistakes that others do, that I see them happening in the marketplace. This morning I want to talk about discount brokers. There's a lot of brokers out there that they're not making a lot of money. They're not selling a lot of homes, and they coming up with these ideas of discounting their commission in order to get the sale. So a lot of times they say, I will sell your property for 2%. I will list your property for 2%, when the normal, there's no normal, but around here, that's what normally the seller pays around 6%. And that 6% gets split between the seller's agent, the agent that represents the seller that listed the property, and the other half, the other 3%, goes to the buyer's agent, is the agent that brings the buyer to the transaction. So that gets split in half. So when these agents say that they're going to list your property for 2%, most of the time that's a lie, because they can't list it for 2% and pay the other broker. So what they do, they say they're listing it for 2%, and when another broker brings a buyer, they tell you, well, you have to pay the other broker if you want the property sold. So the sellers, obviously, they're going to get mad because they end up paying 2% to them, and then another 2, 3, whatever they negotiate for the buyer side. So you end up listing your property for 4.5%, 5%, or 5.5%. So is really true that you're listing it for 2%? Okay, let's say that is true, and they are in fact only taking 2%, and they're not paying the buyer's broker at all. They're listing it on the internet, on the MLS, and they're not paying the broker that brings the buyer. Do you think those brokers are going to bring their buyers? They're not going to bring them. Brokers control the buyers. So most of the buyers have someone they work with, and if that person doesn't get paid, they will not bring their buyers to the property. So now your property is exposed to a lot less buyers. My company doesn't even allow me to list the property without paying the other side at least 2.5%. Think about it. So I mean, and let's say you're doing it, okay? You're listing the property on the MLS for 2%. You're not paying the other buyer 2%. Think about that 2%. It's most of the time you got to split it with your company, half and a half, unless you're in a very high split because you're making a lot of money. But if you're a discount broker, you're not making a lot of money, so you're not going to be there. So normally it's 50%. So it's 1%. You got to pay the IRS 35% out of that, and you're left with 65% of a 1% to market the property, to pay for professional photography, video, brochures, internet marketing. I mean, there is so much into it that you have to do. Pay an assistant to do some of the work. You do the work, open houses, and all of that, you have to do it for. And at the end you get paid 65% of a 1%. Think about it. Are you going to do a good job? No, you won't. You're not going to do any of that. You're just going to put on the MLS and hope that somebody comes. So when you do that, you're not going to get the high money, the right amount of money for the seller. That's one thing. Now, the most important thing out of the whole story is, if the seller agent, the guy that's cutting their commission and advertising it that they will cut their commission, if these guys are not even able to negotiate their own salary, so they're willing to work for 2%, which it should have been 3%, they're willing to work for 2%, and that's 66% of your salary. So if they can even, would you work for 6% of your salary? Would you go to work knowing that the boss is going to pay you just 66%? Because that's what's 2% out of 3. Would you do that? Probably not. But so imagine if this guy cannot negotiate his own salary, when he gets an offer and he's going to negotiate with the buyer your money. You're a seller, right? So your money. They they're going to negotiate trying to get you more money for the property. If they cannot even negotiate their own salary, do you think they're going to negotiate for you? No, they're not. They're just going to take any deal. They're going to get paid and move to the next one. So this is the rant that I had this morning, because I'm seeing so many discount brokers out there trying to make a lot less than they deserve, and it's okay for them. But that's not okay for the sellers, because the sellers are the ones that are getting hurt. They're not selling the property for what they should. They're not getting their property exposed to the market properly, to the right amount of buyers, so they can get the right amount of money. So when you see discount brokers, run, because you're getting yourself hurt. Think about it. Alrighty, that was it. Talk to you soon. Have a good day now. Bye.